What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Audio Talk Wrestling. I'm Jonathan. I'm joined here by my awesome co-host, Thomas. What's up, man?
What's up, everybody? How you doing, bro? You doing good?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. It feels good to be back. I apologize. Apologize, everyone, for last week. We were out due to the catastrophic destruction of Hurricane Irma. Do not worry. Our houses are still intact. We are still alive, obviously. By the time it got here, it was just a tropical storm. We live in Georgia, so thankfully we didn't experience too much, but our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone in the direct path of the hurricane, as well as Maria and Jose, which are also coming from that side. So, made it through the hurricane, safe and sound, dude. I'm excited. I'm back, ready to talk about some wrestling, man. I missed the show last week. There's been a void in my heart that is only able to be filled by Audio Talk Wrestling, so super excited to be back, dude. You ready to talk about these two shows, man? Because I know I am.
Yeah, dude. I cannot wait to talk about these two shows, but before we do so, just want to go ahead and let everybody know, if you haven't already, the legend Bobby the Brain Heenan sadly passed away at the age of 80, or I think it was 73, 73, earlier this week, so I know he was a legend in the wrestling business and whatnot, and made a lot of the wrestlers growing up, you know, he was a special person to them. So thoughts and prayers going out to his family and whatnot, and you will be missed, Bobby. So rest in peace, buddy.
I agree. Bobby the Brain, man, one of the greatest commentators, managers, and charismatic figures in the history of wrestling. So we are definitely experiencing a huge loss there with his death. So we did dedicate the show, which we're about to talk about. Monday Night Raw was dedicated to Bobby, so that was nice of WWE to dedicate this decent show. I gotta say, the show was okay. Nothing too exciting, but, you know, we're going into No Mercy, so, you know, things kind of die down before we get into the next pay-per-view. We're just building hype. We're starting to wrap up storylines. We're going into the pay-per-view. What'd you think about the show? Overall thoughts? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Somewhere in the middle?
Definitely somewhere in the middle. A lot better than what we have been getting, I do believe. There were some good matches, a couple of good promos, some bad matches, and some bad promos. So yes, definitely somewhere in the middle. I would rate this show. So yeah.
That works. I do want to say that due to the order of the show, we're just going to kind of bounce around here on the matches. We're not really going in the order that happened tonight. With that being said, though, I want to go ahead and dive right into the meat of the discussion. First match I want to talk about with you, bro, is the Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss match. So, Alexa Bliss, coming into this match, we're starting, or we're kindling the flame with the Nia Jax Alexa Bliss feud going into the Fatal 4-Way match that will be at No Mercy between Emma, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks. So, we're kindling that flame. Alexa Bliss is out there with Nia Jax, and match starts, and Alexa immediately runs away, runs down the ramp, and Sasha Banks' music hits, and blocks the entrance, forces her back into the match. She is forced to compete with the monster, Nia Jax. The match goes on for a little bit. They wrestle back and forth. Alexa gets up to the top rope, goes for a crossbody. Nia Jax catches her, slams her down into the mat like only she can do, gets the 1, 2, 3. Nia Jax gets the dub here, and, man, Sasha Banks comes in, dives in, attacks him, and our favorite hero of women's wrestling, Bayley. She's back, dude. She's back from the injury. You excited to see Bayley?
I mean, I was glad to see Bayley. Yeah, I mean, glad to see that she's back in action and whatnot. It was a nice sight to see with Bayley.
Yeah, so Bayley's back. I don't know how to feel about that. Bayley's been kind of sleeping these last couple of months, dude, ever since Extreme Rules. She's been on a downward
that's the way I feel about her, so.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, she's back, and she looked vicious coming out there, at least as vicious as Bayley can look, because we know that she's like a small little chihuahua coming out there. She looks adorable when she's mad. She jumped into the ring, and all three women, Alexa, Sasha, and Bayley, did like a triple team spear on Nia Jax and brought her down, which I thought was odd, seeing some teamwork out of Alexa Bliss with these other two women. And they were able to bring Nia Jax down. After they did this, Sasha Banks and Bayley went to celebrate. Alexa weaseled her way in between. Bayley and Sasha didn't really like that so much. Bayley hits the belly to Bayley suplex or Bailey to belly, whatever her god-awful finisher is, on Alexa Bliss. And, Alexa Bliss gets laid out in the middle of the ring. So, interesting thing I want to talk about this. So, Nia Jax, she's getting teamed up on with all three women. Sasha Banks attacked her, Bailey attacked her, so she's still a heel, right?
Nia Jax?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that she's still a heel. I guess a couple weeks ago when she'd kind of turned on Alexa Bliss, I guess we thought that was going to be a face turn for Nia Jax, and now it's not looking like it so much now. I don't know. They're really confusing me about whether they're turning Nia Jax heel or not. So,
yeah, it looked for sure like that was a face turn, like that was the big event of that night. So we were getting hyped for our Nia Jax Alexa match, and then I guess somewhere along the way they scrapped plans. I think that's the biggest explanation here. So I don't understand why. I mean, you have to do that to set up the match, I guess, but the match was pointless because then it got turned into a fatal four-way, and we already ranted about that 2 weeks ago. So I don't know, man. I guess Nia Jax is still a heel, but I don't understand what the whole booking perspective is because you're being inconsistent. I hate it when they do that, when they like have a plan clearly and they go with it, and then like 2 weeks later they scrap it, and then like nothing makes any sense. And even on this, like, why was Alexa Bliss even? If I was booking, I wouldn't have even had it to where Alexa Bliss worked with Sasha Banks and Bailey to hit that spear. I would have just had it be Sasha Banks and Bailey, and then Alexa just like run out the ramp when she had the chance. I feel like that would have been better. Instead of like, because then you have to go back and correct it, because then she has to go into the celebration, and then Bailey has to hit her finisher on her to like assure everyone that Alexa Bliss is not working with them. So it's like, I don't know, it just creates so much more work, and it's not consistent for storytelling. I don't like it. So, I don't know. Nia Jax is very wishy-washy.
Yeah, I really don't know where they're going to go with her as far as being a heel or a face. But speaking of Bailey, though, later on in the show, we did learn or come to find out that Bailey is going to be put into the Fatal 4-Way. So now it's, I guess, a Fatal 5-Way. I don't know. To compete for the Raw Women's Championship. So now it's going to be Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Bailey, and wait, what was the other one again? I forgot. Emma, yeah. Oh God, no wonder why I forgot. Anyway, so yeah. What do you think about Bailey, dude? Do you think her getting put in this match, does she stand any chance whatsoever of holding that title, dude? Like any chance?
No. I mean, we all know Nia Jax is winning that belt at No Mercy. I mean, that has to happen. Which then again, it's kind of tricky because why would you add Bailey to the match if she doesn't stand a chance of winning anyway? Which then again, why would you add Emma? I guess Emma was. See, originally I thought Emma was in the match just to have someone for Nia Jax to pin, so that way Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss don't look that bad coming out of the match because they don't. Alexa loses the title, she doesn't get pinned. That sets up the rematch, and Sasha Banks doesn't have to get pinned or tapped out. So she looks as good as possible coming out of that match in that scenario. So I figured that's why Emma was in there. But now Bailey's in there too, so I don't know. I guess the more the merrier. You know how WWE is. Vince sees an opportunity. Let's just throw another superstar in there. We got to make No Mercy a 5-star pay-per-view, which isn't going to happen anyway. So I don't know. Realistically, unless they pull a fast one on us, bro, I don't think Bailey's going to walk out of there with that title. It's got to be Nia Jax. I guess Bailey's just in there because her injury healed faster than they expected, and now they want to go ahead and use her. That's my biggest prediction. And, that could set up potential rivalry with Bailey and Nia Jax after that Fatal 5-Way when she wins the title. But who knows, dude? You know how they are, man. They might completely flip the script on us, dude. Maybe Emma will walk out with the title. Who knows, bro? What do you think's going to happen, though?
Oh boy, hopefully not Emma. Good Lord. I really believe that Nia Jax is going to walk out with the title. I'm with you. I really don't think it makes any sense whatsoever for her to kind of like turn on Alexa Bliss like that and have her not win the title. What I could see happening though is with Bailey. Is because you know how strong the bond is with Sasha Banks and Bailey. Maybe things get heated with Bailey and Sasha in the match or something like that, and They end up like maybe like somebody goes for a pin and then the other like pulls them off of the person that they're pinning or whatever, and they like kind of get feuded and heated about that, and they just continue like feuding throughout the weeks a little bit, and that turns into a heated, intense rivalry or something like that, which would probably force a Sasha Banks heel turn, which I'm totally okay with. Assuming that Nia Jax wins this title, that means that would set up for a rematch for Alexa Bliss. I don't know what they're going to do with Emma. They should have not put Emma in the match to begin with. So, I don't know what they're going to do with her, but I feel like that could happen, sort of. Maybe they do turn Bayley towards Nia Jax to have a rivalry, since Nia Jax is the one that hurt Bayley to begin with. So they put her out of action for a month and a half or so. So maybe, dude. I don't know. There's lots of things that can happen, but I definitely agree that Nia Jax should walk out of this pay-per-view with the women's title. Raw women's title.
I definitely agree. That's the only thing that makes sense for storytelling. Because otherwise you just wasted our time with the whole face/heel turn we don't even know anymore, but dropping Alexa Bliss. That wouldn't make any sense if Nia Jax wasn't to win the title. So I'm pretty sure she's going to walk out of there with the belt, and she'll probably go on to beat Alexa in her rematch, and then will then go on to fight Asuka whenever Asuka gets brought up into the main roster from her injury. So,
and she is coming. We got the promo or whatever that she is coming. So Asuka should be here shortly. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it should be coming soon. They're already packaging her and giving us our video footage every week for that. So that's something to look forward to. I can't wait till she finally comes back to Monday Night Raw. Quick question. Do you think that you're excited about her being on Raw now that we know for sure that's where she's going, as opposed to SmackDown?
Yeah, dude. I think, Asuka's a great competitor, dude. She held that NXT Women's title for a really long time, and she has some really good matches. She's impressed a lot of people, so I feel like her being brought up to this main roster gives a lot of diversity to the Raw Women's Championship. It gives more of a challenge to whoever holds it. So more rivalries to come with different people with Asuka. So I feel like it's going to be great for the women's division on Raw. So.
Yeah, I think a championship run for her would be great, and in my opinion, the only person on Raw that should ever dethrone Asuka after she beats Nia Jax, which also should happen, is Sasha Banks. And I think after Sasha Banks dethrones Asuka, then she should finally get her run that she deserved a month ago and got stolen from. So Sasha Banks needs to win that, hopefully in the future, and I would love to see that match. I think Sasha Banks versus Asuka would make a great main event. So
yes,
that's what I'm hoping for. I just want to see my girl Sasha win that belt and actually hold it for longer than 2 weeks. But apparently that's too much to ask for when it comes to this business. So
you're right.
How that goes. All right, dude. Well, we've pretty much covered everything there is to cover about the women's division right now. So let's move on to the next match of the night. We had an interesting match. We haven't really seen this in forever. We had Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro versus Luke Gallows and Paul Anderson. So we had a triple threat tag team match. What'd you think about this, bro? I gotta go ahead and say real quick, this is my favorite match of the night. I thought it was interesting. The rules were a little bit confusing with who was able to go into the match at what times and how the tags worked. Which actually led to an interesting finish that I'll talk about in a minute. But I thought as far as the actual action goes, this match was very good. I thought every team did their part pretty well. And, man, Dean and Seth, they killed it again tonight. They looked great. They had some great spots in that match. This match thoroughly entertained me. What were your thoughts on it, on this weird oddball match for the night?
Yeah, no, definitely it was a weird match. Something we haven't seen in a long time, a triple tag team match. Yeah, no, I think this was the best match of the night. It was very energetic, very thrilling to watch. When you have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins in the same ring, a lot of great things are bound to happen. Those guys are just true competitors and, great entertainers. Love to see those guys each and every week. And then, on the other side, you got, two amazing, superstars as well in Sheamus and Cesaro. those guys, they give good shows every single week as well. We don't really see much from Gallows and Anderson, so going into it, I didn't really know why they had them in there because they normally don't perform that well. But all in all, they didn't do bad. Everything was great from all teams. I really enjoyed it, and the match definitely kept me entertained. And yeah.
Yeah, I'll give Gallows and Anderson credit where it's due. They're not like the greatest in the ring at all, but they can keep up with others. So, they didn't look amazing, but they held their own in this match. They didn't look like they were horribly out of place, at least in my opinion. I thought that they performed okay. And that's tough, too, to be in the ring with guys like this. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, people like that, able to hold your own in that type of match. I thought these guys did good. So yeah, there were some great spots in this match. Dude, my favorite spot of the night, actually, was the back-to-back double suicide dives that Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose did. That was very, very cool. As far as the finish of the match goes, this is where the confusing rules come into play. So, as long as you tag someone, it doesn't actually have to be your partner. You are the legal man in the match. So this led to a finish where Dean Ambrose was bouncing off the rope and Sheamus was on the outside of the ring. He smacks Dean Ambrose in the back and gets that tag without Dean Ambrose knowing, who then goes on to hit Dirty Deeds. And Sheamus runs in, throws Dean Ambrose out, and gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus and Cesaro get this dub. So that, in my opinion, is a telltale sign that they are going to lose the match at No Mercy against Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, which isn't really a surprise. I kind of figured that was going to happen anyway, because come on, man. The Shield's back. We got to give them a good tag title run. So yeah, it's pretty much signed, sealed, delivered that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are probably going to get that dub at No Mercy due to Sheamus and Cesaro looking good on the night before. So what do you think about that, bro? You think there's any chance that I'm wrong and Cesaro and Sheamus get that hot potato tag title flip again?
Oh, I think there's a tons of chances of you being wrong with this company, dude. I mean, good lord, how many titles have we flip-flopped for the past 2.5 months, dude? Good lord. I mean, but with the Shield being reunited, how can you not give them a tag title run? That out of everything, that makes no sense, dude. Oh god. That would actually upset me a lot because those guys, it took forever to get them back together, and now they're back, and you only give them 1 month worth of a title run. Come on, man.
See, I think that they'll continue to hold the titles for 1 to 2 more months. I'd say I'd give it, and then they'll probably split up, and one of them will turn heel. But the fact that, to me, this isn't really a big issue because I don't know if anyone else has a problem with it. But, the fact that they haven't brought, a new theme song or, mashed up their themes or gave them their own, entrance graphics or whatever, kind of, I don't know, it feels like everything is not permanent. It's just temporary. I feel like if you were going to give them, a really long tag run, wouldn't you, mash up their theme a little bit or give them a new theme? Or, give them, some new graphics in the background? Because now one of them comes out, and I think they just go in with Seth Rollins' intro package, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's nothing even for Dean there. So, I don't know, it feels too temporary. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it is temporary or, it's on short notice right now. It's just, that's how I feel. I've always said from the start that I wish they would, come back out with some new music. You can't use the Shield music because Roman Reigns is using it, but you can come out there with, something else. At least new graphics. So, I don't know. It feels too temporary. Hopefully, though, they'll have a good long run of this. But I think it's pretty safe to say that they will retain the title at No Mercy. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Is there anything else you want to touch on in this match before we move on?
No, I think that'll do it. But now that we're moving on from this match, though, this was a really irrelevant match. But I just wanted to throw it in there. When I say irrelevant, I mean this is Kurt Hawkins taking his 115th L in a row. Irrelevant that we're talking about here, but I want to talk a little bit about the guy that he faced, Apollo Crews. He's got Titus O'Neil in his corner, being his manager and whatnot. But I tell you, when Apollo Crews came up, I do believe he came up on SmackDown. I mean, the universe was kind of shocked in how well he performed. You know, the guy he looks like a tank. I mean, he's got the in-ring ability to be something. And, you know, the one person that he reminds us all of is Bobby Lashley. And everybody loved Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was extremely unique in the ring. He was a powerhouse, a tank, and whatnot. And, you know, I thought that this was something that Apollo Crews is actually going to do something, you know, be some really good superstar. And, of course, there he goes. He goes all the way down, and Lord knows where he went. But
I went to Titus International, dude. Titus brand.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Titus brand, dude. Yeah. Tazal, yeah. But the guy has a lot of talent. And, I mean, I know this is like, there's so many people that have come into the business and have gotten buried that had talent. Like, yeah, I know, but, like, I don't know. As of a unique superstar as him, you know, that kind of has those same characteristics of Bobby Lashley. You know, it's just kind of hard to see him like go down like that in the company. So if there was a way, because Apollo Crews hasn't competed as far as I know, I haven't seen him compete at all since I started back watching wrestling, and that we've been doing this podcast. I haven't seen him compete. So do you think that Apollo Crews is like a worthy, you know, superstar, entertainer, wrestler to hold a title like the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title?
Yeah, no question. I mean, it's hard to say like how far he could go in the company because I haven't seen enough of him because he hasn't been on TV like he should be. But I know that watching his matches, dude, like you talk about his in-ring ability, like he's a powerhouse and he has a super beefy frame. Super tanky frame, but he does things in the ring that some high flyers can't do. I mean, if you look at his form when he's this man straight up does cartwheels and backflips, and he does it better than some of the people on the cruiserweights. I'm just being honest. Well, okay, Enzo doesn't count. Hopefully, if all goes well, Enzo will be out of this company in 2 months tops. But
hopefully, if all went well, Enzo Amore is dead right now.
Dude, he's dead as far as his career goes. That's for sure. But yeah, I like Apollo Crews, man. I would like to see some more of him. So hopefully the fact that he was on Raw tonight, maybe they'll start giving him a couple more matches. I don't expect a big push. I wouldn't get my hopes up for that. But I like him. He's decent. He's a great wrestler. But other than that, I don't really know much about him. So, but yeah, first impressions are good. I have a good first impression for him. So if he did get a push, I'd be okay with that. I could see him holding the title, IC title, or the US title. So, you know, that'd be great. Moving on, though. Roman Reigns, dude. We had his weekly promo. Usually
weekly
he comes
burial.
Out here. His weekly burial. Usually he comes out and buries himself or gets buried by John Cena. I will say, though, that this time was his best promo in the last month, which, by the way, guys, isn't saying much because, let's be honest, look at this last month for Roman Reigns. Roman comes out. And he picks up the mic as usual, and he claims that John Cena is the biggest hypocrite in WWE. He then proceeds to play a video clip of John Cena's promo on The Rock 2012 for their WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 28. In the video, John Cena speaks on Dwayne Johnson being a part-timer for movies. He's never there. He comes back and he leaves. He's a Hollywood man. He no longer cares about the company. John says at the last part of his promo in 2012 that, unlike Dwayne Johnson, he will always be here. He will never leave. And he will see you next week, movie star, in reference to The Rock. So, this was Roman Reigns' best promo in the last 4 weeks. And John Cena basically cut it for him. So... I mean, I don't know if anyone else caught that, but 90% of this promo was just John Cena talking anyway. So, you know, yeah, you got to cut corners when you're Roman Reigns, but it is what it is. He had a strong finish, though. He mirrors the promo that Cena had, and of course he says Cena's a hypocrite because he hasn't been in the company. He asks the crowd if they want to see John Cena tonight. He says, sorry, John Cena's not here. So, you know, he's poking shots at John Cena, who's now getting more involved with Hollywood, and he's seeing a lot more success in the movie industry. And Roman finishes his promo by saying that he'll see John Cena next week, movie star. So it was pretty creative. I thought the writing was decent on this one. Roman Reigns did a good job at the end. I know I poke fun at him for, this being John Cena's promo as well, but this actually was not a bad promo for Roman Reigns. He didn't look too bad coming out of this like he has the last couple of weeks. So good job from him. Got the point across pretty well. I was feeling this one. It's a good part of the night. I wish Cena was there to bury him in the ring, but he wasn't. So we got this instead, and I was okay with it. What are your thoughts on this one?
Definitely wasn't a bad promo, dude. Like you said, best one in the last month that he has done. I mean, really and truly, I don't know, dude. Roman Reigns, didn't he used to be like decent on the mic? Didn't he used to be decent on the mic? I swear I could remember Roman Reigns being decent on the mic, and now I don't know if it's just like the presence of John Cena. I don't know what it is. He's just terrible. So
it's because, I mean, you can be good on the mic, but if you're gonna be the guy, you have to be the guy in the ring and on the mic. And Roman Reigns is not the guy on the mic. He's not the worst I've ever seen, but he's not the guy. John Cena, when you listen to John Cena pick up that microphone, anything he says is gold. And John Cena's the guy. So, you have, John Cena's in the position he's at for a reason. You have to be able to do what he does because Cena has set the bar so high. You know what I mean? That man has elevated what it means to be the number one superstar on that roster. In and out of the ring in multiple ways. So the bar is so high up. I don't even blame Roman Reigns for not being able to hold his own in there. But if he can't, then he can't. He's not the guy. You understand what I'm saying? It's, you have to have that characteristic, and he doesn't. He's never been horrible on the mic. I mean, he's Roman Reigns, dude. It's the same thing every week. All his matches are the same. All his promos are the same. All his character is a cocky piece of garbage. Same thing every week. It's nothing creative. But this promo was decent from him. So, yeah, that's all I have to say because we are running short on time here. We need to hit SmackDown too. You ready to talk about the next thing? Or is there anything else you want to say about Roman Reigns?
Really quick, who do you think is gonna win, dude? At No Mercy. What's your call right now? Cena?
No, Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns is winning 100%.
Yeah, I would bet all the money that I own that Roman Reigns wins. Cena has a movie to film. He's only on Raw to put talent over. This is just a passing of the torch match. I guarantee after the match is over, Cena will pick Roman Reigns up. Or no, Roman will pick Cena up. They'll shake hands. People will cheer. And then the next week, Roman will continue being booed. That's how this is going to go. Cena will either feud with another superstar before he leaves, because there were rumors that he was going to feud with Elias Sampson and Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, by the way, will be returning back, hopefully within the next month from his injury. So maybe Cena has a rivalry with Samoa Joe before he leaves. I don't know. Either way, Cena's not in the company for much longer because he has a movie to film. So, Roman Reigns gets this dub 100% of the time. I would bet all the money I own on it.
Okay.
So, that's my opinion on that. Moving on in the night, though. We had a interesting promo between Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. We had a sort of CNN newsroom type of interview. We had they were Skyping in on each other, and one half of the video was Braun Strowman, and the other half was Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. So it was a little bit weird, but I thought they did a decent job. I guess they both kind of look stupid in this one, in my opinion. Brock Lesnar was in front of the camera shot while Paul Heyman stood behind him. Brock Lesnar said nothing for the first 5 minutes of this promo. Paul Heyman said everything from behind him, which was really awkward. This whole time, Brock Lesnar looked like he was stuck at a French restaurant trying to figure out what the waiter was asking him, and Braun Strowman looked like he'd been to prison about 17 times. So that's how these two look. Pretty stupid. But, at the end of the promo, Brock Lesnar cuts Paul Heyman off, and he leans into the camera very dramatically, because, everyone goes silent because we know Brock Lesnar's about to say something. And he says, "Thank you for backing him into a corner. It's when he's at his best. I'll see you next week, Suplex City." So, that's it. Braun Strowman, he had that crazy eye the whole time. That was pretty much his response to those words. The mic dropped. Brock Lesnar walked away. Video feed cuts out. Braun Strowman went on to do something amazing after this promo, though. Probably, honestly, dude, one of my favorite parts of the night. I don't know about you. He absolutely destroyed, possibly murdered Enzo Amore. So, I just want to give a quick round of applause. I'm going to join you in clapping for a second for doing some damage to my least favorite wrestler.
If you guys want to know why I love Braun Strowman, that is the reason right there. Braun Strowman had nothing to do with Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore probably said something about Braun Strowman in the back, and that's probably what he got. Like,
yeah,
honestly,
real.
I mean, that was amazing. Braun Strowman is my effing hero, guys. You don't even understand. I love him for that.
Yeah, if you didn't love Braun Strowman before tonight, you do now, because man, he destroyed it. If you watch that, man, like when Braun Strowman came out and pushed Enzo, like I swear that man's got a rib broken. Braun Strowman. Here's what I think happened. I think before Braun Strowman ran out there, I think like Vince or someone was like behind the curtain and he like tapped him on the shoulder. He leaned in. He was like, "Hey, Braun, go kill that man." And Braun Strowman just ran out there and tow trucked that boy. He smashed into him, picked him up, threw him in the ring. Enzo went airborne. Braun Strowman then slammed him back down into the mat. And it looked aggressive, man. It didn't look like it was a cushioned fall or like Braun Strowman was concerned about Enzo's safety. It looked pretty brutal. And,
Enzo looked dead the entire time. It was great, dude. I loved it.
Yeah, it fits. Now Enzo, much like his career, is dead.
Is dead, yes.
So,
yes.
Beautiful.
That settles that.
Let's go ahead and move on to our main events. We are already 30 minutes in. We're not even at SmackDown yet. Moving on to our main event, though. We have Jason Jordan versus Elias Sampson versus Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, and the Hardys. So this was a 6-pack challenge for the number 1 contendership for the Intercontinental Championship match, which will be held against The Miz going into No Mercy next week. So I thought this main event was decent. I liked it. It was okay, kept me interested. It wasn't as good as the tag match earlier tonight, but it did its job. There was one really, really good, like major superplex, they called it, where like everyone in the ring piled up in the corner and they had a like mega superplex. Which was pretty cool in this match. Match goes on for a while. Jason Jordan ends up hitting his neck breaker on Curtis Axel, pins him, gets the 1-2-3. Jason Jordan is the winner of this match, which is pretty much what we all expected. So, my question to you is, bro, what are your current thoughts on Jason Jordan? We know he's going into No Mercy. He's going to be competing for that IC title. Do you think he's going to win the title, and are you okay with it if he does?
I mean, okay, the way I look at Jason Jordan is the guy has really, really good in-ring ability. I love to watch him in the ring. Outside of the ring, his character, though, oh, Lord, it needs some development, dude. Goodness gracious. I really don't like it, dude. There's, like, times where, like, he just acts like he's insane, and it's, like, cringy, and he can't cut promos good, and like I don't know. Overall, I feel like maybe what they're going for is if Jason Jordan gets this Intercontinental title from the Miz. You know, the Miz has been holding the title for a fat minute, dude. He's been holding it, so it'll give him some confidence for his character. He'll come out there, cut a couple of good, decent promos, and he needs nothing to improve on with his in-ring ability. So overall, Jason Jordan is still in the works, but I feel like he is something, and I feel like he could very well end up being the Miz at No Mercy for the Intercontinental title.
I think he's going to win the title because it's time for the Miz to drop it, and clearly they have big plans for Jason Jordan. I want to say, though, I know I was starting to change my opinion last week on Jason Jordan because I've been hating him. I will say that at this point, I am no longer 50-50 on the scale. I do like Jason Jordan. You just on his in-ring capability alone, man, that guy is putting on great match after great match every week, no matter who he's pit up against. And I got to give him mad respect for that, especially being thrown into the ring with the likes of Cena, Reigns, in matches like that and being able to hold his own and look as good as he does, he's earned a lot of respect for me, man. I like what they're doing with him. I like his new entrance theme with the rap into it. I think that fits him a lot better. It took him a while to get that entrance sorted out, but I think they finally got it where it needs to be. The fans are starting to warm up to him, so things are really looking good for Jason Jordan right now, man, especially in my eyes. I'm starting to like him a lot more. The only thing they need to fix, like you said, he needs to work on his mic skills. He sounds too robotic. He doesn't hit the points like he needs to. He doesn't put enough emotion into it. It comes off cringy at times, and I don't know how other people feel, but you and I are on the same page. He needs to get some new ring attire or something, because that kid comes out looking like a rainbow fish every night, and I don't know what he's doing, man.
Yeah, no. Definitely agree about the ring gear. Oh, boy. But with his mic skills and all, I think this is a good, like a good path they put Jason Jordan on, because The Miz is arguably one of the best in the business on the mic, and Jason Jordan needs the improvement on the mic. So going out there and being in the ring with The Miz and cutting these promos, even though Jason Jordan is doing bad, but The Miz has been cutting some of the best promos that he's ever cut in his life in the past month. So, like,
that's true.
I think all in all, I feel like it's just a learning step for Jason Jordan, and I think learning step is gonna turn into success here. Like you said, I mean, like, his in-ring ability alone is going to be able to get him the success for this one. So I feel like he is more than likely going to walk out of No Mercy with the Intercontinental title, and he's going to have picked up a few things with this feud with The Miz, saying that The Miz will have a rematch clause for the Intercontinental title after Jason Jordan wins, if he does win. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, bro. I'm glad you mentioned that. I do think that... like, above all, the best thing about this feud for him is that Jason Jordan is going to learn something from it, Feuding with The Miz, you're going to pick up mic skills. You have to. It's not optional, because otherwise you're going to look like a fool. And he is right now, but over time he'll get better, especially if this rivalry goes on for an extended period of time, which I'm okay with, Miz is there. He's been in the business for a while now. Miz is a veteran now, man, and he shows it on the mic. And it's time for him to start putting over some talent. So... I'm totally okay with Jason Jordan and The Miz. I think that's fine. I didn't like it at first, but it's warming up. Pretty much it for Raw tonight, man. We really got to move on to SmackDown. So I'm gonna let you take the reins here, bro. What walks through what happened at the beginning of this?
All right, so we start off SmackDown Live with as most of you guys know, the week before, Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon. Kevin Owens has riled up the chairman of the board, and he has come down to SmackDown Live to have a talk with Kevin Owens, and things that really go in his favor. Kevin Owens absolutely obliterated Vince McMahon, cutting his head open with a headbutt and then doing a gigantic frog splash, which broke a few of Vince's ribs. So this led to Tuesday night, Shane coming out, even though he is suspended, they allowed him back on the show, and to give Kevin Owens, a little bit of speech to let him know exactly how personal Kevin Owens has taken this whole, like, conundrum and whatnot. So, basically, this is something that Shane started to say at the beginning of the promo. He said, "So, Kevin Owens, imagine if you were in my shoes, sitting at home last week with your children, and you watched someone you love get beat down by a coward. How would that make you feel? My kids literally watched their own grandfather get beat down in the middle of this ring." So right off the bat, a lot of powerful, emotional things being said by Shane McMahon, talking about how he was with his kids and he watched his father and the kids watched their grandfather get beat up by Kevin Owens. Really just setting the bar high for the match at Hell in a Cell. Really and truly. So another thing that Shane McMahon went on to say was, when anyone attacks McMahon, the family will retaliate and strike back with massive vengeance. Once again, Shane McMahon he's going to be ruthless at Hell in a Cell, guys. Like, we're going to be in for a good match with this one, 100%. So, one of the last things that Shane McMahon said was, Kevin Owens, you didn't only beat down the chairman and the CEO of this company. You beat down the patriarch of my family. Kevin Owens, I condemn you. I condemn you to a ruthless beating at my own hands. I condemn you to a life full of pain and suffering from these hands, and I condemn you to hell in a cell.
What a promo, man. Shane McMahon killing it on the mics tonight. That was good. I want to comment on one thing you said, or that Shane said, from your quotes. He mentioned that you mess with one of us, and you mess with all of us, basically. The whole McMahon family is going to strike down with vengeance. So this is just adding to my theory, along with others, that this is going to lead up to Survivor Series between the McMahon family and Kevin Owens. So good for Kevin Owens, man. You know, I mean, he's got the best storyline on SmackDown right now. He's rolling with it. I'm happy for Kevin, dude. I really am. He's getting pushed, arguably better than Jinder Mahal and Nakamura. I'm more invested in Kevin Owens' storyline right now than I am Nakamura and Jinder Mahal. I don't know about you.
Same. I mean, I'm a Kevin Owens fan, dude. I love Kevin Owens. I like he's probably one of the better superstars that's coming in the company in the past 5 years. So, really enjoy his matches. I really enjoy watching his promos. I like this because the last time this has happened was the 2009 Randy Orton Triple H feud. That Randy Orton, you know, was punt kicking Shane, Stephanie, and Vince. You know, basically just taking off Triple H. You know, this led into a WrestleMania 25 match of the ages between Randy Orton and Triple H. So, I definitely like to see this kind of stuff. It hadn't happened in a good while, and you know, it's kind of nice to reminisce in old WWE, and I'm glad that they're kind of bringing this type of stuff back up. And Kevin Owens is definitely the guy to bring it up with. So, like I said, definitely going to be looking forward to seeing the Hell in a Cell match between these guys.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that because, like, bro, it's crazy to think that feud was 8 years ago. Like,
yeah,
that's how crazy that was, man. It was 8 years ago. Unbelievable. I totally forgot that happened. Like, I knew it happened, but, like, I haven't connected this rivalry to that one until you just said that. So that's a good connection, man. Because I do see a lot of similarities. And that really did elevate Randy Orton even higher as far as, like, his heel character went. That was like the peak of his heel character, in my opinion, was that rivalry. One of the more underrated ones, I think. It doesn't get a lot of discussion. A lot of people kind of forget that happened. But, man, I remember watching that, and I was loving that when that was happening. So, it's good that that's happening for Kevin Owens. So, yeah, that's good, dude.
Yeah, but anyway, so after the Shane promo, we had a pretty pointless match. I really don't know why this was a thing. I mean, because I really don't like the rivalry in general. But it was Randy Orton versus Aiden English. Why? No idea. Surprise, surprise, though. Randy Orton hits an RKO on Aiden English about 5 to 7 minutes within the match. Boom. Randy Orton wins. And what do you know, Mo? The Bulgarian brute Rusev, his music hits, and he comes out there and starts talking about how he's gonna go down to the ring and yes, beat Randy Orton. He's gonna beat Randy Orton. That's what he said. So I'm like, this man got jokes, dude. So like Randy Orton, he wasn't even phased. Aiden English, like he may have got a couple good punches in, but you know Randy Orton, he was ready to go. I mean, I didn't even know this was actually going to be a match. Like this was scheduled. So I was sitting on my phone, and then I look up, and all of a sudden I hear the bell ring, and here comes Rusev charging at Randy with a super kick. Randy Orton gets knocked out, and literally match was 6 seconds long, including the pin. And Rusev wins, and Rusev, he went on to probably be one of the cringier like things that we've seen on SmackDown. And we've got fashion files, ladies and gentlemen. So you know what I'm talking about is pretty cringy later on. He's sitting there in the backstage. He's like doing his thing, like pumping his fists and yelling in the backstage. And he goes for an interview and he's like, I beat Randy Orton. I beat him. And like,
I guess he turns into Arnold Schwarzenegger right there, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Sorry, I can't do a good Russian accent, dude. My bad, though. Anyway, so it was really cringy. I don't know why they're bringing this rivalry back up, because it was never good to begin with. So hopefully now that this is getting brought back up, they're actually going to turn it into something, because good Lord, besides the Shane, Kevin thing, I mean, the U.S. title's kind of dead. Obviously, the WWE title is really dead. So we need we need something, juicy for a good rivalry. So maybe they'll actually do something with this. So maybe not. I really don't know. As of now, I think it's really pointless. So what do you think about it?
Honestly, at this point, I don't even think it's so much that we need a juicy rivalry. I think Rusev needs a juicy rivalry. He needs to get something going right now. Like, something needs to happen quick, because otherwise he need to go right on back to Bulgaria and go wrestle there or something, dude. I don't know what's going on with Rusev. They're not doing anything with him right now. And I don't think a feud with Randy Orton's really gonna bring him up anymore. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. It's hard to imagine them doing anything too crazy with Randy Orton and Rusev while they have a lot of time and energy and resources focused in hard on the Kevin Owens McMahon storyline, because clear you can tell on SmackDown, dude. That's where their time is going. I mean, you look at the other storylines that's happening right now, and then you look at Kevin Owens and the energy that is being put into those two against each other are it's night and day. There's so much more time that's going into this Kevin Owens storyline. I love what they're doing with it. So, but we've already talked about that. Moving on. Later in the night, we have Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles for the U.S. title in the open challenge, I guess you could say, in air quotes. I don't know, man. Baron Corbin told AJ Styles that he will accept the challenge next week, and we had this officially set up. So we had AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. The match never even technically got started, because as AJ Styles was doing his, crowd entertaining, Baron Corbin ran up behind him, hit him in the back of the head, and started beating him down before the bell even rang. And I was like, oh, great, Baron Corbin gets this in, AJ Styles will come back, we'll quit worrying about Baron Corbin. No, because Ty Dillinger, my man Ty, comes in running from the ramp, comes up behind Baron Corbin, and starts beating him down. Man, he destroyed him. Threw him out the ring, pounded him down, man, did some damage to that leg. Looks like Baron Corbin's leg is broken. Not actually, kayfabe, but it's broken because he was rolling around in the ring. And AJ Styles took advantage of this, put him in the calf crusher. Baron Corbin tapped out, but nothing happened because the bell hadn't rang. We got no match. Baron Corbin was not able to compete. AJ Styles' music plays, and this segment is over. So there was really no title match, which is interesting. I don't know what they're going to do with this. Do you think that we could possibly be having a triple threat match next week for the U.S. title, since this match never officially started? Or do you think that this is just the start of a rivalry between Ty Dillinger and Baron Corbin, and AJ Styles is going to move on to something else?
I mean, at this point, I feel like the triple threat, I feel like that's a very viable option at this point, but really is saying that, Ty Dillinger is a good wrestler, and Baron Corbin, I'd rather never see him again in my life. Those guys really aren't really cutting it for AJ Styles' level of competition, I don't think. So I feel like it would suit everybody else more if AJ Styles moved on to something better, and Ty Dillinger and Baron Corbin go into a rivalry of their own, seeing as Baron Corbin's interfering with Ty Dillinger's match with AJ, and Ty Dillinger is doing the same. So I feel like that's really just contending with the U.S. title to begin with, and it's more of just a personal thing between Baron and Ty Dillinger. So,
well, make no mistake, I don't even think the U.S. title is where AJ Styles should be. In my opinion, if I was booking, AJ Styles would have been my world champion months ago. So I don't know. I agree with you. I think Ty Dillinger can hold his own against AJ Styles. They have pretty good matches, and I like Ty Dillinger. He's just young, and he's he hasn't had as much WWE experience as the rest of them. I'm with you on Baron Corbin, though. Just get that guy just out of SmackDown, man. Just please. But yeah, my prediction, my official prediction, you heard it here first in Audio Talk Wrestling. I think we're going to have a triple threat match next week, because that's what they do, man. But hopefully, if I did have to say, I wish that Ty Dillinger would feud with Baron Corbin, because I would rather watch that than have AJ Styles be brought down by Baron Corbin, because that is not where AJ Styles needs to be right now. if you're going to give him the U.S. title, he needs to be putting over new talent. Either need to give him Ty Dillinger or start bringing up some guys from NXT, or give him Bobby Roode, which isn't going to happen because that's doing the Dolph Ziggler thing. But,
well, heck, when is that going to happen? Dolph Ziggler hasn't even been in a match in 3 weeks, dude.
Yeah, he's still doing the entrance thing. So, I'm sure like one of these weeks, he's talking about these elaborate entrances. Bobby Roode will come out with his elaborate entrance because that's what Bobby Roode is famous for. And that'll start that feud. And hopefully that can start and finish at Hell in a Cell. That does not, I'm telling you right now, if that happens, that does not need to be an extended rivalry. That is limited only to Hell in a Cell. That needs to start and finish at that pay-per-view. Because Dolph Ziggler's contract is ending soon, so he needs to go ahead and get out the company. He can go to the indie scene where he belongs. He can revamp his character and do exactly what Cody Rhodes did. And we can have Bobby Roode be pushed for something greater. Bobby Roode does not need to be having an extended monthly rivalry with Dolph Ziggler. That does not need to happen. So,
agreed.
My guess is that Dolph Ziggler will start bringing the feud into existence within the next couple weeks, because we're trying to draw things out. Hell in a Cell is about 2 weeks after No Mercy, so we have a little ways to go until that. So, no rush. I know what they're doing. Moving on. Last topic of the night. Main event of SmackDown. Going into SmackDown's women's division, we had Becky Lynch versus Naomi versus Charlotte Flair versus Tamina Snuka. Fatal 4-way match for the number 1 contendership for the women's title against our wonderful, beautiful champion, Natalya.
God.
Hell in a Cell. This is a good match, dude. It was good to see Charlotte back. That was my biggest thing of the night. I was glad to see Charlotte. I've missed her. She hasn't been gone that long, but, I felt bad for her dealing with her father. And she's got that new book out, Second Nature. So she's been really busy with that, and she's finally back. So it was nice to see Charlotte. I like Charlotte. She's good. She adds something to the women's division that other people can't. So it was nice to see her back, man. I'm a sucker for the return matches. And pretty good match overall. We had some nice little spots in this match. We had one of them came from Charlotte. She had a double moonsault onto Tamina Snuka and Naomi at the same time. Tamina Snuka got some action too, man. She looked decent in this match for it being Tamina Snuka. She had a really good frog splash. Neither of us can talk tonight. And Charlotte ends up booting Tamina from behind, gets the 1-2-3 pin. Charlotte is our number 1 contender for the women's title going into Hell in a Cell against Natalya. So this came out of nowhere, but I'm sure we all expected it to happen. Are you excited about this match?
I mean, I just want Natalya to lose, dude. So if this match meaning Natalya loses the title, then I'm all for it, dude. Then yes, I'm extremely excited to see Charlotte take the title away from Natalya because, good Lord, why did she have it to begin with? So yeah, I'm really excited about it, really and truly though. Charlotte's probably one of the most, classier, type divas that we've seen in the last few years as far as her ring set and whatnot with her moves. So I really enjoy watching Charlotte in the ring. She's got crazy talent, and I think the title belongs on Charlotte. I really do. So I'm glad to see her back.
Yeah, I agree. I think Charlotte will end up winning this match because I don't think the Natalya thing is a permanent thing. I think that they just gave the title to Natalya because she's been in the business for so long and they wanted to give her something as a reward.
Or maybe she'll retire. Maybe she's just planning on retiring.
I mean, she's getting, she's not old, but she's been in the business for a while. She's been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she could live comfortably if she did retire, so... I'm all for it, dude. I'm okay with them giving her this title run because, it is important to reward your talent, man. Because, Natalya has been there since day one, so I'm okay with it. But I don't think this will last any longer than Hell in a Cell. I think Charlotte gets the win over Natalya at Hell in a Cell, and she walks out as our new champion, and we get a Charlotte run on SmackDown, which is good because it's been a long time since we've had a Charlotte championship run. So this will be nice. I'm excited for it, man. So yeah, pretty good, dude. Coming into our closing here, dude, let's go ahead and give our weekly MVPs and show of the week. I'll go first. My MVP for SmackDown, since we just got done talking about it, is Charlotte. I know it's cliche because she's back and she returned, but, like I said, I was glad to see her. She's the best part of the night. Shane McMahon, honorable mention because he had a good promo. So Charlotte is my MVP for SmackDown. My MVP for Raw, however, might catch a couple people by surprise here, especially coming from me, is Jason Jordan, because I see the improvement. I like what they're doing with him. I like what he's doing as a wrestler. He improves every week, and I genuinely think Jason Jordan is heading in the right direction. So my MVP for Raw is Jason Jordan. So those are my two superstars for the week who stood out in a otherwise average week of live television. Speaking of it being average, my slightly better of the two, my show of the week, is Monday Night Raw. So that is my show MVPs and show of the weeks. Go ahead and give us yours, man.
Okay, my MVP for Raw is also Jason Jordan.
Hey.
I agree totally. I like what they're doing with him. His in-ring talent is crazy, and I think it's about time that Miz drops that title and we get a Jason Jordan title run. So hopefully be looking forward to seeing that next week. My SmackDown MVP is going to be Charlotte, obviously. It was a tough one between her and Shane McMahon with that promo. But yeah, I think all in all, everybody was just glad to see Charlotte back. Yeah, that's SmackDown's MVP, and my show of the week was SmackDown. I liked the main event a little bit more, I think, than I did Raw's, and Shane's promo really did do a number. I really enjoyed that. It set the bar high for that match. Besides Reigns and Cena, I think this is one of the more anticipated matches besides Reigns, Cena, and Braun and Brock. I think this is up there for one of the more anticipated matches for a pay-per-view for the two shows. So, yeah, that'll do it for me, dude.
All right, man. Well, I got nothing else to say as well. It's good to be back, man. I'm glad we're back into the podcast, man. Once again, I want to apologize for missing last week due to the hurricane. Can't control that. Hopefully these hurricanes out on the coast don't turn and hit us again, dude. That'd be horrible. So hopefully that doesn't happen, man. But we're looking good over here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 4 of Audio Talk Wrestling. My name is Jonathan. My co-host's name is Thomas. And we will see you guys next week. Please be sure to follow us on social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Drop a comment below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And that being said, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
See you guys.